So in this video, I'm going to provide you an update on CBP operations when it comes to people entering the United States after the proclamation with respect to vaccines, who is vaccinated, who is not, who can actually enter the United States. Update on tourist visas, B1s, people that are coming back and forth right now. We're going to provide you also information about green card holders that are stuck overseas, what happens when they come back, what happens at the border when they're dealing with CBP agents, as now 22 starting some new updates that you need to know. And finally, we'll talk about people that are traveling on Esta and they're stuck in the United States and they still extend their Esta beyond the 90 days. It's on updates that are happening in 2022. Give you the most up-to-date information that you need to know about CBP operations in 2022. So, what are you waiting for? I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody, and welcome back to our immigration channel. This is a place where you get the most up-to-date immigration information, immigration updates, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnick, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and I help clients in all 50 states. And in this video, I want to give you the most up-to-date information about CBP Customs and Border Patrol operations in 2022 based on a meeting that CBP representative had with the American Immigration Lawyers Association representative, and I want to give you a little bit of a summary as it applies to information that you need to know specifically about entry, green card holders, people that have Esta and they're trying to extend it, and many other topics that I try to cover in this video. So make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Before we do that, if you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. So in many of our previous videos, I've gave you updates from the Department of State, from different embassies and consulates, how they're handling the different travel bans, specifically with vaccine requirements before people are actually getting visas or being able to enter the United States. But in this video, I wanted to focus on what actually happens when you arrive to the United States and you're facing the Customs and Border Patrol agents. What is their take on the vaccine situation following the latest proclamation that all visitors, non-US citizens, non-green card holders are required to have a vaccine. So based on that meeting that they had with representative of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, CBP clearly stated that their job is not to enforce the vaccine requirements. They're just checking certain things. And their scope of implementation is exactly what CDC is requiring. They're not going to go beyond that. What that means is any traveler must show a negative COVID test 3 days before entering the United States and proof of vaccine as accepted by CDC. So essentially, the CBP officers, they have that list, and if your vaccine meets that requirements, you should be okay. Those travelers that are not vaccinated and have an exemption must show a negative COVID test 1 day before travel. Now remember, quite a few people received some exemptions to enter the United States, national interest exceptions, before this most recent proclamation on vaccinations. All these exceptions are not going to be accepted by CBP because they took place for this most recent requirement that you have to enter the United States only if you are vaccinated. Another question that came up is, what if an airline refuses to let you board because they made a determination that you're not qualified to enter the United States? They didn't recognize your visa, maybe they determined that your green card or your travel document expired. The airline decided not to let you board the flight to come to the United States. What is the process to fight this? The way CBP recommended is that they have a unit, the Regional Carrier Liaison Group. It's a resource for airlines to communicate if they have an issue or they make a decision to not board somebody on the airline. And so the airline can call this unit within CBP, get clearance, and if they validate that the person should not board, the person is not going to board, but there is a way for them to clarify with CBP if that person can still board the flight, and if they agree, that person will be let on the flight and deal with CBP when they arrive to the United States. There's a way to get around this. If an airline decides not to let you board the plane, you can request them to call this unit within CBP and get guidance from them as to what they can do. With respect to humanitarian emergency exceptions to the vaccine requirement, CBP said that they're going to be basically following the CDC guidelines. And also, if somebody gets an exemption from the Department of State, obviously they're going to honor it. However, they clearly said that any national interest exemption, any national interest waivers that were issued before this proclamation with respect to the vaccine are not going to be honored. They have to be specifically towards that particular issue, which is if you're not vaccinated, if you have a humanitarian exemption, they'll honor it. But if you don't have one, you're not going to be able to enter. people also ask if anybody who is a non-citizen or green card holder who is entering the United States and they had the vaccine, is CBP going to put a stamp, a particular stamp that says that this person is vaccinated and next to their visa notation? CBP says no. There's going to be no special stamp for somebody that is vaccinated as they enter the United States, just a regular stamp with your entry date, like always. So this myth about CBP stamping your passport with the vaccine approved kind of stamp is not true. They're not going to do it. They confirmed that at that meeting. Now let's talk about visitors that are currently inside the United States. Those of you that are here on Esta. As you know, Esta is a privilege for you to enter the United States for 90 days. Esta is available to most European countries and a few other countries around the world. It's not a visa. It's a privilege to stay here for 90 days. Of course, during the COVID-19 pandemic, people were stranded here and they were not able to leave. So CBP implemented what is called satisfactory departure process, where you can request via email 30 more days and sometimes even 60 more days to stay longer beyond your 90 days to stay in the United States. Now, the satisfactory departure page is gone from their website. So the question is, can you still get satisfactory departure? Well, based on that recent meeting that CBP had with the American Immigration Lawyers Association, they said it is still possible in limited circumstances. So if your case qualifies, they'll consider it, they'll give it discretion. It's definitely less available now than it used to be because people are now able to fly freely. But if you need it, you still are able to apply and request satisfactory departure, and they will consider it on a case-by-case basis. Now, with respect to visitors that are coming here on a B1, B2 visa, in the past few months, there have been incidents where visitors were entering the United States, specifically from Mexico and or Canada, trying to get a vaccine inside the United States because they were not able to get it in their home countries. Such visitors were flagged by CBP, and in some cases their visas were canceled because they were subject to the public charge. CBP officers said that they were subject to public charge. Based on recent review of what happened, it's clearly a mistake. Getting a vaccine, any benefits related to the vaccine or testing is not considered to be public charge. It is clearly on the USCIS website. It's in the regulations. These officers that did that, they made a mistake. So if any of you are watching this video and you know somebody, or it's you, who were denied entry and revoke your visa because of your interest to come here to get a vaccine or some other care related to COVID-19, you can immediately appeal that and you should be able to get your visa back if you reapply. But those instances where they revoked your visa because of this are completely wrong. Also, with respect to CBP, some visitors mentioned that when they print their I-94 records from the online system, they don't have all the history of their entry and exit. And CBP said that the reason is because some of that information is confidential and it's not all going to be available on the online system. If you have issues with your entry and exit, you can always make an appointment at the Deferred Action Office of CBP. Every city has it, every airport has it, and at that point you can either fix your I-94, extend it if needed, or deal with your travel history because they have that information there. But remember that it's not always available online fully, so don't be alarmed. It's not a mistake on purpose because not all that information is available on their online I-94 system. And finally, with respect to green card holders that are stranded overseas, the question was for CBP, what happens when a green card holder that has been away for over a year? And as you know, if you're a green card holder and if you spend more than a year overseas, you're risking losing your green card by default, meaning that you've abandoned your residency. But of course, because of the pandemic, people are finding it very difficult to travel. Based on the recent CBP update from that meeting, they specifically said that they're still going to be giving some relaxed rules for those green card holders that are coming back, as long as you can document that you couldn't travel, you couldn't leave, you made efforts to come back, but you couldn't. Make sure you come back, document it with all the documents to show that these were circumstances beyond your control, you couldn't come back, you're still a green card holder, and then you're not going to need to worry about losing your green card because CBP is aware of that, but you need to give them something to work with. So prepare a folder showing that you made efforts to leave, but you couldn't, and even if you come back beyond the year, CBP should still let you in based on the recent guidance. So hopefully this information is helpful. This was just a little bit of a snippet of the updates that we get from CBP. Again, once we have those updates, once we get it from our liaison committee at the Immigration Lawyers Association, I always pass it back to you, and hopefully that is helpful as well. Let me know in the comments if this information is useful. If you have any questions, I'm always here to help you. Once again, if you need assistance, text me 619-483-4549. I'm here for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.